Hi, welcome back to Everyday Behavior. This is the sixth video in our series this month on skill-based intervention. And during this video, we're talking about task analysis. So we talked about that a little bit in the last video. If you haven't watched that on shaping versus chaining, please go back and watch that video before continuing on this video. But this is talking about how do you create a task analysis. So let's say you're working on social skills, greeting a person. Any social skill, you want to break that down into very discrete tasks. What is it that the person is required to do? So if you think about walking up and greeting a person, I don't really have to think about that. It just happens. I've done it for so long, I don't really think about it. It's kind of like riding a bike, right? But when you do that, you walk up to the other person at an appropriate proximity. You look them in the eyes. You say their name, or you say hello, or hi, Katie, how are you, right? And you wait for a response. So you give the greeting and then you wait. You can't say, hi, Katie, how are you? Oh my goodness, today, did you hear about, oh my goodness, and then this, and then this. You have to say, hi, how are you? Wait. So that waiting is just as important as the greeting is. Then you tell them at the end of the conversation, typically in a short greeting, they say, hey, Mary, I'm fine. How are you today? I'm good. And then you say, okay, have a good day. It was good talking to you. And you walk away. You don't stand there and stare at them awkwardly, right? So those are all of the behaviors in a greeting. And so whenever you're looking at what is the skill deficit, is the skill deficit in greetings and social skills, break that down into very discrete components. And that is, I'm going to say with social skills, it's incredibly hard to do. And so you may want to look at a social skills curriculum, which is going to help break down those skills. But another thing that you might want to do is to do it yourself with a typically developing person, with a friend or another colleague or a parent. And you may want to do that skill and then sit down and write down what were all the things that I had to do. And then you're going to work on your chaining, starting at the top or starting at the bottom, and teaching that skill to the child. But don't teach too many components at once. One at a time. So one step, one baby step at a time. Other common chains are asking to share. So when you're asking to share, you have to make sure you have their attention. You have to ask for the toy. So if you say, can I have the truck, please, but they weren't listening, that's probably not going to be successful. So you want them to be able to tap the person on the shoulder or to say their name to get their attention. Then you want them to ask for the toy, and then they have to wait again. So don't forget that wait component or the pauses in behavior as being part of the chain. Other common, and you can look at our website or also on Facebook for example task analyses. We talked in the last video about getting dressed or greeting a person, but this week, not this week, but a couple of weeks ago, I had a child that I was working with, and we told them to shower. We just assumed that they knew how to take a shower. That was mistake number one as a clinician. I should never assume that it's a performance deficit. So I said, if you take a shower every day, here's what you earn. But then during the course of the session, it came out that this child didn't know whether you use shampoo first or conditioner first, and didn't quite understand the steps in a shower. And so as a clinician, I had a nice friendly reminder to never assume it's a performance deficit. And I had to step back and do a task analysis for showering. You have to wet your hair before you put shampoo in your hair. And then you put the shampoo in it, and you have to rinse the shampoo out before you put the conditioner in. So whenever you're working with your children or with another child, or if you're a therapist, it doesn't matter what it is, make sure that you break that down for those kiddos, because in this circumstance, the child did have autism, and everyone had assumed because of her age that she knew how to shower, but she was just embarrassed to say that she didn't really know how to do all those things behind the curtain. And so you just want to make sure that you are respectful and cognizant that not everything is just a lack of motivation.